And with that, let's send it out to Starbucks' most popular columnist, Jason Lloyd. What's up, Jason?
You know I can hear you. I can hear you guys.
I know that. I don't.
You working?
What percentage of your time down there is actual work, Jason?
A lot of it. Like 90% of it.
You know. I will say this: Jason does a lot of schmoozing, but that's how he has more inside sources than anybody else in Cleveland. Is because he's a schmoozer,
I mean, sadly,
and so that is part of the job.
Schmoozing is work. Yes,
it is.
Schmoozing is work.
Yeah,
glad handing is work, and it's all. Yeah, that's what we do all day.
All right.
We stand around and gossip like old ladies at the end of the driveway with desperate housewives with a coffee in hand, and everybody says what they think and what they know.
So, is there any schmoozing, interesting schmoozing you've done recently that you can share any information on?
You gotta be more specific than that. What do you want to know?
Have you found out where Malik Willis is going?
Yeah, that's a good one. What's the buzz on Malik Willis?
I don't think he's coming here, and that's like that is based on talking to people who understand how the Browns operate. Let's put it that way. I don't see them doing that. I don't think that they're going to do a big splash move at quarterback. Like they could bring somebody in, but I don't think it's going to be Ty Simpson at 6. I don't think it's going to be Malik Willis on a big free agent deal. I mean, Andrew was talking in circles yesterday quite a bit, but he did say like they're probably another year away from being able to spend really big in free agency. I mean, connect the dots. That's lines up with the Deshaun contract and with the fact that this isn't a very good team right now. So why would you invest big dollars in free agency now? I mean, building a team through free agency is a horrible idea all the time. But I understand what he's saying, I think, on any sort of big swing in free agency, this is not the time to do it.
Yo, so speaking of Jason, I went back and listened to his press conference earlier today, and in two separate conversations, I noticed he name dropped Tyler Linderbaum twice. He did say that they will be more aggressive in free agency this year, but like you alluded to, more of a hyper focus next year. And then he talked about what the Chicago Bears did with their offensive line. What do you think, just from hearing him talk, his strategy is this offseason to improve the Browns' offensive line?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Linderbaum. Eric DeCosta was talking yesterday and said that they made a record-setting offer to him, so I think he's staying right where he is. The thing he said about Chicago I thought made perfect sense, and we may not have said it quite that way, but it's basically what we've been talking about. Like, you're not going to have 5 rookies on the offensive line, but you're not going to have 5 free agent signings either. You know, I wouldn't shock me if Luke Whippler or Ethan Posick is the center next year. If Ethan is back, my guess would be maybe they move on to Whippler. I don't know that. Maybe Tevin Jenkins comes back. They want to get a look at him late in the season. Maybe he's back at right guard. Maybe you sign a free agent off the street. Maybe you draft one guy. Maybe you draft 2 tackles and sign 2 free agent guards. So it's not anything groundbreaking. It's everything that we've sort of said. He just put it in a way. He sort of put a team to it of, hey, this is, if you have to redo it in one offseason, that's an example of a team that did it recently.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is they had a quarterback that they drafted first overall.
Absolutely.
But listen, I mean, if they don't, you said you don't think they're going to get Malik Willis, you don't think they're going to get Ty Simpson with the.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
And that's
my opinion.
And I agree with you. I think both those things are unlikely. And if that's the case, then Shedeur Sanders is definitely the leader in the clubhouse to be the starter, I think.
I would say I tend to think so. Like, I've made my stance on Shedeur perfectly clear. I don't think he's good enough. But given where they're at, given where their room is, given what the options are, they may bring in somebody, whether it's a free agent or a mid-round pick again. I'm not ruling out that they could add to the room. I just don't think it's going to be a big ticket thing at the top. Now, it's February 25th. We got a long way to the draft. But I had been sort of waiting till we get here on any sort of quarterback discussion because I just wanted to get a sense of what other people were thinking in terms of the Browns. And that's just sort of what I've come away with is I think that this is what it's going to be.
Jason, when you look at, obviously right now it's franchise tag season, is there anybody on the Browns worth franchise tag?
No.
I've been thinking about this. Like, who would you franchise tag?
No, not free agent. No, there's nobody. Like Martin Emerson's probably not going to be back if you read between the lines of what Andrew said yesterday. I mean, Tyson Campbell did a great job. It's a great trade. Tyson Campbell did a great job, and Ty, you can speak to this better than anybody. I don't think Martin Emerson is a slot corner. Do you?
No.
So,
I wanted to get
where's he
D'Angelo Pons from Indiana in the late round.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, you're certainly not going to franchise Martin Emerson, and I don't think he's back. I just don't think there's a free agent.
Is Devin Bush a free agent?
Yeah, I don't know that you would want to franchise. He had a tremendous year last year, and that's a credit to him. But do you really want to franchise tag? I don't know what the number would be. The number would be astronomical if you franchise tag him. I think, right?
It'd be around 21 million.
Oh no!
Yeah,
$20 million for linebacker.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's the projection.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason.
No, you're not tagging.
I got a question for you. I know this is kind of more up your alley. I thought about this. So he was asked about Rondale Moore, and he said, before he came down to speak, he went back and he was looking over his draft notes. He talked about young players going through rehab and not necessarily having the same community available to them as they did when they was in college. And, he talked about how they try to encourage players to rehab at the facility and just to be around people. In your opinion, what can the NFL do differently or do more to, kind of keep players closer or, offer more to help, with some of the issues they go through, emotional depression and mental stuff and things like that?
It's not just the NFL; it's all the sports that when these guys, players tell you, you can probably speak to this better than anybody. When I don't know how many injuries you really had, like big injuries, get hurt, they feel like they're not part of the team anymore. Like they're off rehabbing. Baseball guys might be at the facility rehabbing while the team's on the road. You're not even with them. You're not even around them. So you just feel so detached. I don't believe that your identity should be what you do. That's not, your identity isn't what you do. But a lot of those players in those roles, they attach their identity to what it is that they do. So it's I hear you. It's tricky. I don't know that there is a great answer. I wish I could give you a great answer of this, and this. It sounds, counseling would be good if counselors and therapists, guys could reach out to, going through injuries, and when it's a grueling rehab and you're away from the support group. That thing when, off season, coaches worry the most about guys in the off season because they're not in that bubble. They sort of lose touch with them. They lose control of them, and that's when guys get in trouble a little bit. So I wish I had a better answer for you. It's an important subject. It's a big topic. It just doesn't come with an easy solution. Teams are trying to win games, and the team focus is if you're not, coaches tell you, if he's not healthy, I can't worry about it. I'm trying to win. I got to win with the guys I got here. So that's just sort of the mentality in pro sports.
By the way, the franchise tag for a linebacker is $28.2 million.
No.
Inside linebacker. He wouldn't be an outside linebacker.
Oh no.
No, that's just linebacker. There's no inside linebacker.
Oh no.
I'm looking it over the cap right now.
Even more than. So yeah, he's not being franchised.
$28.2 million. They're not giving Devin Bush that.
No. There's.
Go ahead, Mike.
Jason, what's the scuttlebutt out in Indianapolis about how the Browns handled their coaching search and eventually landing on Todd Monken?
Honestly, I haven't had many conversations about that. You would think that it would have come up, but there's been so much other things to discuss and talk about. I really haven't. I had a couple conversations about just Todd in general, not so much the Brown search, but just Todd, and the feedback was great coach, happy for him, great that he's got this opportunity. It's long deserved and long overdue, that type of sentiment. But it wasn't, I haven't really talked to anybody about the process necessarily and how they landed on what they got. But there's a lot of people around the league who have a lot of respect for Tom.
Do you see Jimmy Haslam at this?
No, I haven't. I don't think he attends. Like he'll be at the owners' meetings next month, but I don't think I've ever once seen him at the combine. It's just GMs, GM staff, coaching staffs. Typically, it's not owners.
What is your thoughts? Because I seen that Liam Cohen and the Jaguars, they're not going to the combine, and I think Sean McVay and them don't do it either. What is your thoughts on?
Really?
Yeah. What is your thoughts on organizations skipping the combine?
I think teams are looking. I don't see the harm in coming, but I don't know how much benefit there is for this. Like, I think the most important part is the interviews and getting your hands on guys and being able to sit down with them and talk to them.
You're wrong. It's the
I think
medical.
that too. Yeah, but they'll get that at their facility. Like, you'll get the medical eventually, but the more time you can spend with guys, the better. So I don't understand, like, what's the harm in coming here, doing interviews and getting to talk to guys, and then also getting them at your facility. You know what I mean? So that's like the medicals you'll eventually get, whether it's here or back home. You're going to get those. And I don't know, like, that they get a whole lot out of the broad jumps and the verticals and the throwing and all. I don't know a ton comes out of that. But just the opportunity to sit down and talk to guys, I think the more touch points you get, and I sound like I don't mean to sound nerdy like that, but the more human interactions that you get with these guys to where you can get in a room with them and see how they think and how they react to certain things, I think it's a good thing. So I do think that part of it may be a little bit of trying to be smarter than everybody else in the room type thing. I mean, if the Browns were doing it, you'd kill them. But because it's the Rams, people say, oh, well, I don't know, maybe there's something to it. But I think if there's an opportunity to sit down with these guys, the time is so limited, you should take advantage of all the opportunities that you get.
So, Jason, to that point, right, because, you see now a lot of college quarterbacks, they opt to throw at their school's pro day. A lot of, skill position players, they either opt not to run at all or they run at their pro day. It seems like a lot of these college athletes will prefer to be in a familiar and a controlled environment outside of the combine. Then you got the private workouts that every team holds. Just knowing how athletes approach the NFL combine now, how likely is it that the combine is not as big of a thing, say 10 years from now, that has been all this time simply because of how teams and then athletes themselves are approaching the situation?
I think it will always be big because I think it's really big for guys in Tyvus' spot. It may not be big for Fernando Mendoza or Carnell Tate or some of these receivers at the top of the draft, but for dudes that are fighting for their NFL lives, Tyvus will tell you how big of a week this is. This is a huge week for those guys. And there's only so many Fernando Mendozas and Carnell Tates to go around. Like, teams are looking 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round for these guys. And even if you don't take a guy, you're still trying to get a feel for them. So if they don't get drafted, you can sign them as a undrafted free agent or bring them in 2 or 3 years from now or whatever it is. So we spend a lot of time focusing on the guys at the top, obviously. But for the teams and for the players, it's those mid to late round guys. This is a massively important week. So, no, I don't think this will ever go away.
All right, Jason, good stuff, buddy. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your time down there. We'll talk to you. We'll see you when we get back.
I'm in tomorrow. I'm coming home tonight. I'll be on the show tomorrow.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a safe trip home.
All right.
Jason Lloyd.
By the
way, that was funny when you put up his bio there with him in the suit. Why did it say the UCSS podcast on there?
It said
Cast podcast.
Cast podcast. The Ultimate Cast podcast.
Good reading comprehension, buddy.
What?
Nice reading comprehension. This is not the right graphic, Steve.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ultimate Cavs podcast.
Co-host. Ultimate Cast podcast.
I'm sorry, Mike. I mean, between you and Anthony spelling things wrong on a daily basis or saying the wrong words.
I didn't make
I take offense. I made that damn graphic.
You never know what's going on over there.
Square up with Earl if you don't like it. Guys, let's get some more